Hey, this is Gina Grad. Hi, this is Teresa Strasser.
Hi, everyone. This is Mike Errico.
Hey there. This is Casey Cavalier.
I'm Rocky Rose.
And you are listening to The Jay Franzi Show.
Lucky you.
Welcome to The Jay Franzi Show. A behind-the-curtain look at the entertainment industry with insights you can't pay for and stories you've never heard. Now, here's your host, Jay Franzi.
And we are coming at you live. I am Jay Franzi, and joining me tonight, the pebbles to my bam bam, my beautiful co-host, Miss Tiffany Mason.
Thanks, Jay. If I can say so myself, I am a pretty good compliment to you.
You think so? That is still out for debate. If you are new to the show, this is your source for the latest news, reviews, and interviews. So if you would like to join in, comment, or fire off any questions, please head over to jfranzi.com. And if you do feel froggy, head over to jfranzi.com/live, where you can join us. You can ask questions, you can pick on us, you can do whatever you would like to do. All right, before we get started, let me go ahead and just mention what the question of the day is. The question of the day is, what is currently your favorite song? What is currently your favorite song? All right. Last week, Miss Tiffany, I was driving home from work. And I like metal music. I like rock music. And I was driving home and I was listening to the radio, Sirius XM, Octane being my favorite station that I listen to.
Sounds about right. That tracks.
It tracks, right? It makes sense. They have this segment of their show that they call Test Drive, where they play 3 songs from up-and-coming artists, and they want you to decide which one of those artists you like best.
Okay.
Well, to my surprise, they played a song from a band called Twist It. Now, Twist It is a band that has been on this show. They are a band that I'm a big fan of. So I asked them to come on the show. They came on the show. We had a good time. We talked. They made fun of me. It was all good.
I listened to the interview. I remember it was very good.
They are a trio out of Pennsylvania. They are a powerhouse trio. I mean, they are hard rocking. I absolutely love them. The reason I mention it is I heard their song. I thought it was fantastic. And I thought it was good for them to be on the radio and be on Sirius XM's Test Drive.
Yeah.
So if you do not mind, and I'm leaving this up to you, if you don't mind, I will go ahead and bring her in.
I would love it. I would love to talk to her. I didn't get to talk to her when you talked to her the first time, and I would love to talk to her. So yes, let's do it.
All right, we're going to go ahead and bring in Sarah Higgins. Sarah, my friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I'm glad to see you here.
Yes.
Miss Sarah, Miss Tiffany, Miss Sarah.
Hi.
Hello. I love some of the things that you say, and one of them is Sarah. It's the A's, I think, that the Bostonians say. Sarah. I don't know.
Everybody's busting my cookies.
I make fun of our guitar player for how he says my name, so.
All right, fine. Well, this is a good night, folks. On that note, no.
I'm saying I like it. I'm not making fun of you.
All right.
Just your Boston is showing.
My Boston is showing. There you go. Nice. Sarah, my friend, tell me how it feels to hear your song on Octane.
It was a crazy experience. Even like how it happened, we opened our TikTok and we saw we got a DM and we thought it was fake at first. It was from an A&R person for the station. And she was like, hey, we love your song, Dark Thoughts. Can you please send me the MP3? I want to send it to our program director. So I was like, this can't be real. And I'm like researching her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she like is real. And we ended up sending the song over. And then later that night, she was like, okay, you're going to be on Octane Test Drive. We'll let you know when. And then the next day, she was like, okay, you're going to be on this week. So shout out to Emily for making that happen. But it was just crazy how quick it all kind of came together.
Did it blow your mind hearing your song on there?
Yeah, it was a weird feeling, but in a good way.
Were you all together?
Yeah, we did a little listening party, which was fun.
Now, I often call you the mastermind behind it all. I don't know if that's a fair statement, but I feel like you're kind of the mastermind. But your primary role is drums.
Yes.
And this song, let me tell you, starts off with the drums kicking.
Yep.
So is this one that you wrote?
Yes. Yep.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the back story of the song itself.
All right. So we kind of started off with this riff that Logan has, which we start a lot of our songs that way. And it kind of sets like the mood of the song, I would say. And yeah, he was playing that. And then I was just kind of like tapping on my knees. And I was like, what can I play over this? And normally on like a riff, you match your drum pattern, like the kicks to the chugs of the guitar, I guess. And then he was kind of writing that. And I was like, wow, this is going to be tricky. And then I don't know, this verse, I think the verse of this song might be one of my favorites we've written, just how it like opens up and that tom fill. I always love doing toms in a verse, and I kind of just was messing around and I was like, this is cool. And we all just sat down and kind of thought of a theme together and started working on lyrics, and it all kind of just came together.
Well, you mentioned his guitar part and how you guys build around it. Whose idea was it for that little guitar stutter in the intro?
I think it was Logan's.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
Yeah.
He's a absolute perfectionist when it comes to his guitar parts.
Yes, he is. He'll sit there for hours and make it perfect.
Was this theme in response to the feedback you got from the first release?
Mm-hmm. I feel like just kind of where we were coming from and like our second time back in the studio and recording, it was kind of like we faced some challenges and like people kind of like, I don't know, almost coming out of the woodworks and being like, why are you doing it this way? Like, you're not gonna succeed. You're not gonna do this. And we were kind of just like, took all of that like anger and I feel like put it into the song. It was kind of like, okay, well, we're going to show you what we're about and what we sound like. And yeah.
Well, you know what? I've heard about people saying mean things. That's how you know you've arrived. Once you get some haters.
Yep, very true.
George, we're waiting for our haters. Can you make that happen for us, please? Well, we talked about the lyrics, and you guys sit around and you write this stuff. How much participation did you have in the lyrics this time around? Because I know in the past you've had a very big part in the lyrics.
Honestly, I feel like when it comes to lyrics, we're all pretty like evenly split on kind of how much we contribute. I would say Kayla did a little more with this song, coming up with like the hook of it. But then we all just bounce ideas off of each other, which is like my favorite part in writing, and kind of just like throwing sentences at each other and like changing the words around. And we're like, oh, this word sounds stupid. What word do you have? And kind of just like coming to a conclusion that way.
I think the lyrics are a little bit more sophisticated this time around. I think we're taking it up a notch. And
yeah.
I think her vocal delivery is dynamic. It starts off, especially when the song kicks in, like you mentioned, that tom piece in the verse, and her vocals are kind of silky smooth coming down in that area. But then by the time we reach the chorus, everything kicks in. So are you working with her, or is that all on her at that point?
Typically, it goes back to Logan again, kind of like he'll just create a basic chord progression and we'll kind of test her and see where her range is and where, like, I feel like a lot of our songs on the last EP was really like up there and high. And we were kind of like, all right, let's like see where is most comfortable for you. Let's give you a little bit of a break. And then kind of went around the chords and just looped it, thinking of melodies. Logan would think of like little guitar leads on the spot, which would also contribute to the melody. And then I feel like the chorus is definitely a lower one for us. Normally they're really high. But then in our second verse, halfway through, we really pushed her again, and she went for those high notes, which is like one of my favorite parts of the song, to showcase that again.
Well, talk about the hook for a second, because this song has an extremely strong hook.
I like, to be completely honest, forget how that whole hook came about. I feel like it was just us in the studio, and we always have a notebook, and we write down words we like, or we'll literally like some days we'll just sit down and write a list of words together, and then we'll go back to them to reference. And I just think one of our words we had written down previously was dark thoughts. And we kind of just went off that and we're like, well, how do we feel when this happens? And it kind of feels like one of the lines is dark thoughts hold me underwater. Like you almost can't escape.
It's very visual.
Yeah. And I feel like water is a big symbol in a lot of our songs and we talk about it a lot. So I think it was cool to tie that back into it again.
But even the production plays into the hook of the song during that chorus.
Yeah.
You know, she's got some play back and forth with herself on that.
Yes.
On the lyrics throughout that chorus.
Yeah. We love doing a little call and response thing or an echo.
Right. Do you get any response back from the fans at this point on the song?
A lot of them have been saying it's their favorite song so far. And they've definitely said they feel like we've stepped it up a notch with this song. And little spoiler, but we're getting ready to release another song next month. And I think that one's even a step up from this one. So I'm curious to see how they will respond to that.
That's exciting. Just keep continuing to grow and get better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the lyrics. I always love whatever the story is. I mean, that makes or breaks a song for me. And I love the imagery. I'm always talking about that, like, how much of a story can you tell me or what can you make me feel? And that was really good imagery, that it holds you down. But I also liked that it holds you from the light. I like that that's how the song ends. Like, so good.
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not a rocker like Jay. So
Nice.
I feel like when we go to write our lyrics, sometimes we think too hard about it. And we're like, well, if you know the band Sleep Token and their weird lyrics, we're like, we want to write something like cool like this. But we're like, sometimes just the simple lyrics, I feel like hit people better and they can relate to them. So we're always just like making sure we're not overstepping or trying to make things too complicated and kind of just like what we feel in the moment.
I also think that when you're straightforward with your lyrics, it allows somebody like myself to focus on the actual music. So I don't know. I do podcasting just for background for you. And I have a podcast about music and I talk to people about how music makes them feel. So then I got myself involved with some production event, and I recently got to watch a drummer just like really go at the drums and didn't realize like the force that you guys use on the drums and everything. And so with the more forward lyrics, it allowed me to be able to go, oh, I hear the drums, there they are. You know, like I wasn't so focused on what the story was. I had the story, I got it, now I'm in the feeling. Now let me switch over to the instruments and stuff. So that was really nice for me personally, not knowing what I was jumping into, because the last time I took a recommendation from Jay, it was 5-Finger Death Punch, and it came at me from the radio, and I almost crashed my car.
Oh my gosh.
So I was happy for something I could appreciate.
Oh, I love you so much.
That's funny.
You talk about the lyrics like that, though, and I think one of the key factors when you're listening to a song from a fan point of view, but also from, you know, if you're sitting down to critique a song, does that song have the value of being able to be replayed? And your song, you could replay and replay and replay. I had it on loop on my way home from work today. So it's not only hard rocking, but it has a commercial enough feel that you'd want to listen to it without it being crossing that line, jumping the shark, being a little too cheesy.
I was listening to my car, and I had reached my destination, and I remember feeling a little disappointed. I was like, oh, I was going to hit replay. I was like, well, you know, I'm here, so whatever. But yeah, it is very good. And I know Jay and I have talked too about like, you know, movement of the song. I think that's something that really stuck out to me, is I liked that it had me feeling almost like I was underwater. Like it had a very, I don't know, I'm not as musically trained as Jay, so I'm just appreciative of music. You know, we've talked about like where it's like on your left and then it's on your right and whatever. And I liked that about that song. So I don't know how it was produced. I couldn't even begin to guess how it was produced, but I liked that there was movement in the song. I was like, what is this feeling? And I was like, oh, this is movement, because it's, I don't know. So it's necessarily like distorted, but there's a quality to it that made me feel a little underwater-ish. So I like that.
Yeah. Very cool.
Let me ask you, you had your listening party. What did your parents think when they heard you guys on the radio?
I remember that night when I got like the message, and after I made sure it was like real at first, and I walked into my parents' room and I was like, Octane is like my dad's favorite station and my
course.
mom's favorite station. And they're always like at all these new bands concerts, which I think is great. And I came in and I was like, guys, guess what? And they're like, what? And it was like 11 at night. They're like trying to go to sleep. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be on the radio. And they're like, what radio? And I was like, I want to be on Octane Test Drive. And I remember them just like losing it and going nuts. And they were just like, that's so awesome. And they're just so supportive. So it was really an amazing feeling. And
now the whole house is awake.
yes. I remember me leaving their room and then my dad coming back in 10 minutes later and he's like, can you just say that again? Like, I need to process it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it is a milestone for sure. And I could not personally be more proud of you guys. So please tell Kayla, tell Logan that I'm proud of them.
I will.
I truly like your music. I mean, I really like your music. I like sharing your music. You're one of the bands that I really do think have what it takes to go all the way. So I'm proud of you guys, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. That really means a lot. And it was fun talking to you guys.
All right, boss. Well, you have a good night. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye now. All right, guys, if you have not heard Twisted, please check them out. They are on the road right now. They'll be traveling through the Northeast. They're going up into Canada. You can also hear them on SiriusXM on Octane. Reach out to them, do a request. Reach out to Jose Mangan. He's the one who's playing the test drive. He's the one that hosts the show, so please reach out, request their song. It would mean a lot to not only to them, but to us here. Mm-hmm. What did you think of her?
She's great. I mean, I think that even listening to the last interview that you did with the whole group, I just think that they articulate what they are doing really well for how young they are.
Yeah. No, they really, I mean, they're all young. They're in their early 20s. So, I mean, they are very, very young, but their music is so sophisticated for their age. It's ridiculous. And they're all super talented. I mean, when I say super talented, I mean, I truly mean it. They are definitely a talented group of individuals, but she plays drums, she plays bass, she sings. I mean, she does it all. So, I mean, Sarah's just awesome. Kayla, her vocals, she's the newest person in the band. And this is probably their first real production that they went out and did with her, like from start to finish. Before they took their songs into the studio and she came in and helped them out with their songs. Now she's part of it all and she's writing the songs with them. She's just amazing, great vocalist, great style to her. And Logan is a perfectionist when it comes to guitar, and he is truly super, super talented, and he's going to be something special. So I really respect every one of them, all three of them.
Yeah, yeah. I can sense your sincerity, and just listening to the interview was great too. I mean, if you guys haven't heard Jay's interview with them, it's definitely worth a listen. It was definitely valuable, not like, sometimes, you get into a podcast episode and you're like, I'm just listening to this to listen to it. I don't know. But I thought that was a good interview.
Well, thank you. They are great. Go back,
well,
check
it wasn't
it out.
because of you.
Yeah.
It was because of them.
It wasn't because of me, no. No, not at all. I love you like a bad rash.
I know you do. Well, we got some news coming out of Coachella. I have never been to Coachella. Have you been to Coachella? I know you lived in California for a while.
I have not. No, that is not my thing.
Okay. What I really think it is people in boho hats, sipping cocktails, really thin, with bell-bottom jeans, and like cool people.
In the middle of the desert.
In the middle of the desert. But as I get older, I think it might be like every other festival where people are really just kind of getting trashed. So I don't really know. If you've been to Coachella, let us know, because we have not been, or Coachella, sorry. But interesting to find out that I guess tickets used to be about $200. I guess 5 years later, the article was saying they're up to $650. And these kids, because it's usually younger kids that are going, they had to do a payment plan for their ticket.
Take out a mortgage.
A second mortgage. Their parents had to take out a second mortgage. So I thought that was kind of funny. But what brought Coachella on our radar was Post Malone was there, and he closed out the first weekend, April 13th, marking his debut as a headliner at the festival, and his performance highlighted tracks from his country-inspired album. I was surprised by that. I guess I don't know what kind of music is played at Coachella, but I didn't think country was one of them. Now, it does say country-inspired, So, that's a little different, but I don't know, featuring collaborations of Dolly Parton, Blake Shelton, Luke Combs, Morgan Wallen.
It's a huge festival, and it's become more than what it was originally started out to be. But I think it's any style of music. I think it's just music in general is appreciated. But no, it did not start out as country at all.
So that kind of shocked me. And it shocks me that, you do these collaborations or whatever, right? But I don't think that the genre you crossed over into becomes what you headline with. Call me crazy.
Yeah.
Just wasn't, I was just surprised by that.
He would probably be able to play that festival no matter which genre he was representing.
Yeah.
I was also reading up on it, and Brian May from the band Queen came and sat in with Benson Boone, and they played Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, cool.
Which was very cool. Okay, it was a very cool performance. I mean, it was really, really good, but it got some controversy around it because people didn't understand who Brian May was. He came up on stage, and some people were disappointed because there wasn't enough applause.
Uh-huh.
Now, the age group of people who are going to that festival probably have no idea who Queen is, let alone Brian May, who's the guitar player of Queen. He wasn't even the lead singer. It's not like you would really know him. But he did play the song. He played the solos, and it sounded really, really good. But people were disappointed because, he wasn't recognized.
Yeah.
But I think it was very good. I think it was a very good thing that Benson Boone brought him out, and they got to play it together.
Yeah, I wonder what the idea was behind that. Like if that's somebody that Benson Boone, kind of looked up to and thought like, wow, if I ever make it, what would be really cool would be to play with Queen. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, that would have been something good to see. But I'm okay with watching it on YouTube after the fact.
I'll have to pull that up because that is a great song. So I'd love to hear it. We also have that the Eagles have announced that their final 2025 Sphere show, they're adding a last set of 2025 performances. And the Sphere is their location or their residency in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Have you seen that? I mean, I know you probably have not been to it, but have you seen the building itself?
I haven't.
It's like, well, obviously it's a sphere. It looks like a giant golf ball. But it's supposed to be one of the most advanced theaters there is, and an amazing sound to it. And only a handful of people have had a chance to play there so far because they've been doing these residencies. But I think that would be a good band to see. I mean, they're a more acoustic-driven rock band.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that music would do well in an environment like that. But I'd also like to see Vince Gill playing with the Eagles. So he's their new guitar player. So there's a chance that not only you get to see a good venue, hear good music, and then get to see Vince Gill up there with them too.
It's the trifecta of entertainment.
Yeah, I think that would be a good one.
That would be a good one. I have not been to Vegas forever, but I told our son when he was like 3, we used to take him to the horse tracks. Like every good parent, you take your toddler,
Did you say to
gambling.
the horse track?
To the horse track, yeah. We
Such
loved
a good
it.
parent.
I know. But that kid was smart as a whip when it came to his money.
Yeah, no kidding, really.
He was the only kid in his little kindergarten class that knew all of his coins. I was volunteering in class that day, and the teacher held up the coins.
And he said, let it ride.
He was so smart. And he would know if he won or not, and he would know like how much he should have won. I don't ever know. I'm like, I don't know. Looks about right. I don't know. If you want to give me $5.26, cool. Seems good. But he was always so good. And then like he would throw his name in a little contest or whatever at like a clinic or a festival or whatever, and he'd win whatever the little prize was. I'm like, you are so lucky, Parker. I said, when you turn 21, and then we did something for Hannah's golden birthday. So then I turned it to when he turns 22, which is his golden birthday.
Golden birthday?
Yeah.
What is a golden birthday?
You don't know what a golden birthday is, Jay?
No.
Your golden birthday is when you turn the age of the day that is your birthday. So mine was the 24th when I turned 24. Hannah's was the 10th when she turned 10. And so Parker's would be the 22nd birthday on the 22nd day of January. So it used to be the 21st, but when he turned 21 is when I said we would take him. But now we've changed it to the 22nd. And I've said that for years now. So he said to me the other day, he was talking about his 22nd birthday because he just turned, he just had his birthday in January. And I said, yeah, next year's Vegas. And he was like, wait, we're really doing that? And I was like, yeah. I'm like, you're the luckiest kid I know. I'm like, yes, we are going to go to Vegas and we're going to gamble and you're going to win mommy all kinds of money.
Nice.
So I don't think they're going to last that long. But if for some reason they lasted until January, maybe we'll take a show in.
Very cool. I passed my golden birthday years and years and years ago.
Yeah. When is your birth
9th.
date? The 9th. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
1978.
Maybe you could do like the 69th, the 59th.
Whoa, don't get carried away.
You're not 60 yet, right? No, so 59.
No, but thank you. It's tomorrow.
No, it's not. Okay, so on your 59th birthday, you can treat it like you're golden, and then you can do whatever you want to do. Hannah got a limo
Stop saying
and
gold.
friends. Okay, well then let's move on. Alan Jackson farewell tour. He's adding dates to his tour now. Stops for a last call, one more for the road tour, giving fans one last chance to see Alan Jackson perform his 26 hits
26 number one hits.
live.
Yeah, that's a lot of number one hits.
That's a lot of number one hits. Guy's been busy.
I would say the only one that probably gives that a running is George Strait.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, George Strait's like 50, I think.
Not even like Garth Brooks?
I don't know. Alan Jackson's pretty cool. I have nothing against Alan Jackson. He's very good. Seems like a nice guy. I've never met him.
Well, one fateful night, many years ago, after having beverages with my friends and family, I decided to try my hand at karaoke. Now, I think I've told you what happened when I tried my hand at Lee Greenwood, God Bless the USA. I apologized in the middle because it was so horrific. And so I thought for my very first time doing karaoke, I would try Way Down Yonder on the Chattahoochee. That was the song I chose. So, fun facts to know and tell. Tiffany's heart gets racing, and then I get out of breath, and then I can't find the beat, and it's a mess. It's a really big mess. And so I've made 2 attempts, and I will no longer attempt karaoke, but I gave it a shot with one of Alan Jackson's songs.
Just to close the brain loop, George Strait with a total of 60. This includes 44 number one hits on the Billboard charts and 16 on media-based charts.
Wow.
60 number one hits. And then it says Alan Jackson.
That's pretty crazy.
So
Oh, interesting.
there you go.
There you go. Fun facts to know and tell. Well, Metallica and Depeche Mode, we've got some documentaries coming out, people, which I do want to watch more music documentaries. And these are piquing my curiosity. So Metallica, they released a new series celebrating their global fan base, highlighting epic live moments, which has fans raving across social media. I would like to see that because Metallica was really popular. I know you're not a fan, but they were popular when my high school years. So that would be interesting for me just to, learn more about the band. For so long, I only appreciated the music and really just the lyrics. So I'm like in a new, my discovery era, if you will. Just learning so much more about music and really appreciating all facets and aspects of the music. So I would love to know where their heads were, what they were exploring, how they were creating music, where they were going, whatever. And then Depeche Mode, they are teasing for an end of the year documentary set to release for later in 2025, promising behind the scenes looks at their recent tour, stirring excitement online. I would love to see behind the scenes of a tour. Just, I know you shared a couple stories of being on a tour bus. I think that seems cool, even though it's probably not cool, but it seems cool. And so
It's fun for a while.
yeah, right?
I mean, for someone like even myself, it's not like I do it that often. So when I do go on the road with somebody, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I join somebody who's been on the road forever and they're miserable, they don't enjoy it, but I do. I mean, the Metallica documentary, that should be cool. I mean, it's not that that I dislike them. They've never been my favorite. And then when I saw their previous documentary where they were seeing a therapist and it was like they were an old whiny couple, that was just too much for me.
Kind of a turn
Depeche
off.
Mode, I was never a big fan of their music, but I would definitely watch the documentary. And not because of them or their talent, just because that wasn't the style of music I listened to. But I would love to see the documentary talking about their, behind the scenes stuff. I think that would be really good.
I will never forget, my Uncle Keith was like the coolest. He was like, I don't know, 10 years younger than my mom. And my mom had me when she was 18. So he was really only 8 years younger than me, or older than me. So, he felt like a cousin more than an uncle. And so he would come home after his nights of drinking, but Jenny and I were still too little. We obviously weren't drinking. And we'd be sleeping over at Grandpa's house, and he'd come home and, he'd do all kinds of crazy crap to us, but he loved Depeche Mode. So, like, you ever have love of a band through just sheer association?
Oh, yeah.
So Uncle Keith loved Depeche Mode, so I assume I love Depeche Mode. I have no idea. I remember him watching them on MTV at Grandma and Grandpa's house. He still lived at home, but my mom had us, and so we would go visit, and cool Uncle Keith would be sitting there listening to Depeche Mode on MTV.
Question of the day. Let's jump into the question of the day. What is currently your favorite song? I will say it one more time. What is currently your favorite song? George, Kenny, anybody else out there tonight, please go ahead and let us know. I am going to kick it off, and I hate saying it, but it's only true. Burn MF is the song that I listen to the most, even till today. So when I'm in the car on my way home and I say, play a song, that's what I'm saying to play first.
She knows. She knows.
what
She
to
pulls
do.
it up for you.
She does it. She plays it. But if I go past that song, let's go beyond that.
Okay.
A song that I've been listening to over and over again that is not, and I repeat, not a typical song that I would listen to, but I find this artist to be so amazingly talented, even though everybody that I recommend it to tells me I'm nuts. And that is the artist Ren in the song Hi Ren.
Did you play this for me?
I did play it for you.
Yes.
This is the song where he's in a room by himself wearing a hospital gown, holding an acoustic guitar, and he starts playing a song that sounds eerie and stuff because it's a dimly lit room in the video. And then all of a sudden he starts singing to himself back and forth with the different personalities within his head. So it is intense. It is an intense song. And then I follow that immediately up with the song Cujo Beatdown, which is a song that he did in response to a beat maker that he got into a beef with.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I'll give you the cliff notes. There's this beat maker in a beat making service. This beat maker put his song into that, or his beat into the service. Ren purchased the beat from the service. This guy, Cujo, says he didn't purchase it legally. They went back and forth over the internet, fought for months, took it to court, all this stuff, fought over it. And it was a big deal, and Ren actually just aired out all the dirty laundry. He made a video showing all the comments, all the back and forth emails, and proved that he was right. And then he went and wrote a song about it called Cujo's Beatdown. That's a tough one, but it was awesome. It was awesome to see the creativity in this man. So, not typically my style of music, but dear God, I love both those songs. How about you? What are you listening to these days?
Well, mine's a little on the softer side, Jay.
Not as twisted as I am right now. Speaking of not twisted, but twisted. I've been listening to their music quite a bit these days. So,
well, I would definitely tune into that song again. I was not just being polite. I really was disappointed that it was done. It was a good song.
It's a great song.
If you haven't checked it out,
really
it's Dark Thoughts. Yeah. So the song that I would choose right now is called Country House. Hannah and I were in a Panera drive-thru, and this song came on, and I was like, Hannah, Shazam this right now. And she was like, okay, Mom. She knows what's coming next. So she Shazams it. And I'm like, send me that song now. And she's like, I know, I already sent it to you. So, well, okay. So let's back up that story even more though. I heard the song and then I asked Siri, hey Siri, play Sam Hunt's latest song. Oh,
Lady in the phone.
Oops.
See?
I know.
See?
I know. I thought my phone was going to pick it up. She didn't. She's asleep. She's asleep at the wheel.
She's sleeping. She doesn't pay attention to you either.
So I was trying to figure it out. And then I was like, Hannah, look up on your phone. And so she looks it up and it kept saying like different songs, but I knew it was by Sam Hunt. So then when it came on, then I was like, Shazam this. I want this song. So then she said it to me, but I just like that, Sam Hunt has that like talk, sing kind of songs. So instead of talking, he actually goes a little bit fast and he's like, you can let your hair down. And I think that when he says that really fast, like you can let your hair down, I just love that part of it. But I also love that he's talking about he wants to live in a country house with her and, he's going to mow the lawn with his shirt off and mow little squares around their bean patch. And I just think it's like the cutest, quintessential, I'm going to take this little lady home and love her for the rest of my life song. And I grew up like in the sticks of Iowa. So we had a lawnmower that we, drove. Our dad made us mow the lawn, but that we got to drive around, drive to the supermarket. Yeah. So I think it's a little nostalgic for me. And my sister always said, I want a house on the hill. I want to get married and I want to live in a house on the hill. And I don't know, we just had little country girl dreams, I guess. And so it plays into that a little bit, but also Sam Hunt, great voice. And Hannah is in her Sam Hunt era right now. So, anything I can do to play in and connect. But
There you go.
the song did catch my ear.
All right. Well, I enjoyed the song as well. So,
Thanks, Jay. Seal of approval from both?
well, don't get carried away. All right. George says Jefferson Starship, Runaway. It's going back a little ways, but I'll take it.
What's your favorite song right now? Let me tell you a little something.
Uh-oh.
I was at this thing over the weekend. And
Did it hurt?
no, it was very good. How does that song go now? It's a Karen Carpenter song. Oh, I'm on top of the world looking down on creation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I played that song like about 7 times in a row. But I was like, well, it's not your most frequently played song. It's your favorite song right now. So I couldn't pick that one. But that's why I'm questioning Jefferson Starship. This is your favorite song right now, George?
Tiffany just questioned you. Just want to throw that out. This is the one you say is your favorite? She just questioned you. All right, well. Alex says Tennessee Whiskey by Chris Stapleton.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
George says, is she fired? I can go with that.
Heck no.
Tiffany, you're fired.
There you go, George. I like it.
Thanks a lot, George.
Brianna says, You Belong to Me by one Miss Taylor Swift.
Like me some Taylor Swift. I could pick any Taylor Swift song and say it's my favorite right now. I love all of her stuff.
I'm a fan. I'm a Swiftie.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
If you're turning into the Jay Francis show, you've got 2 Swifties there.
We've got some Swifties. James says Simple Man by Leonard Skinner.
I interviewed a man about that song, and ever since that interview, I really like that song.
Look at you.
It's a good interview.
Carlos. We have a Carlos listening to us. Carlos says
Makes sense to me.
Red Dirt Road by Brooks and Dunn.
Oh.
Brooks and Dunn. We discussed them last week.
Dunn.
That episode released
sure
today
did.
if you want to go back and listen to it. Shameless plug. We mentioned Bohemian Rhapsody earlier by Queen. Melissa says that is her go-to right now. I have the multi-tracks to that song here at the house. I know you probably don't know what that means, right? A multi-track is the original recording of the song. So as the band went in and recorded it in the studio, they recorded it on separate tracks. So I have those separate tracks, which means that, I can pull it up and listen to each thing individually. It's a very,
that's
very
cool.
cool thing. Yes.
Anybody can just buy that?
No. Mm-mm. That is
Oh.
something you have to get from somebody who is part of that project or within the industry. It's a very cool thing.
You have special credentials.
I have something special for sure. We don't quite know what it is yet, but I have something special. Jordan says,
Took
take
the
it
words
easy
right
by
out
the
of my
Eagles.
mouth.
Nice. I'm not going to go left. I'm not going to do it. Jordan, take it easy by the Eagles. We were talking about the Eagles earlier at the Sphere with Vince Gill.
Yep.
Hannah. You're Hannah?
You better be in bed, girl.
Blue Ain't Your Color by Keith Urban.
Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah. Keith
Ooh, I
Urban
like that song.
could not possibly be a nicer artist. I don't know if I told you that. He was the very first person I worked with when I moved to Nashville.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
And he was so nice. So nice. I worked with him and Phil Vassar. And Keith Urban was just the nicest guy ever. Thank you, Keith. His wife was very nice, too. I met her at some of the award shows.
The Nicole Kidman.
Yes, she was very nice. As they pulled up in their two-door Bentley, their sports Bentley, $500,000 vehicle, ran over my foot and didn't even say hello.
That's how nice he is.
Who knows? Anyways, Tony says, Hotel California by the Eagles. There's a hotel in California called the Hotel California.
I think I knew that.
I used to drive by.
Thank you
quite
for
a bit.
reminding my memory.
Kate says, Jolene by one Miss Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, buddy, he's got a few, but one of them is Five Finger Death Punch. But he's going with Wash It All Away, which is a great song.
By them.
Yes, Five Finger Death Punch, Wash It All Away.
Pardon me if I don't know their collection.
You should know their collection. You would like
The
it.
one was a lot. The one
is probably one of the heavier ones that you could have picked.
Okay.
So, they have a few songs out that they have one called The Wrong Side of Heaven, which is kind of like their commercial hit. It's kind of a ballady type song. Very patriotic, so you would like it.
Maybe my delicate ears could handle it.
Well, you would like it. It's a pretty intense video, too. They support the troops, so it's a Marine-based video. I think you would like it a lot.
I think so.
All right, Michael, let's see what else you say. You say Volbeat, Lola Montez. Volbeat being the band, Lola Montez being the song.
The song.
Extreme being the band, Rise being the song. Van Halen, 5150.
I almost bought a Van Halen record this weekend. I was out at a thrift shop again, and I saw the Van Halen. I almost did, but then I didn't pull the trigger. I bought Easter decorations instead.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense. That tracks. But which Van Halen's?
Don't ask. Don't.
Okay,
No,
don't
no.
ask. No. Michael also says Journey, Faith in the Heartland, Toto, After You're Gone. And he follows that up with, well, I obviously can't decide.
Oh.
Garrett Landers, previous guest on the show, so I will use his last name. Garrett Landers, he is the guitar player for Britney's Lipstick, and he is also now playing guitar with IP6. So, there you go. He says Huey Lewis in the News, Power of Love.
That's the power of love.
Good choice. I like it.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Sure.
Michael, was he the one last week that said, I'm sorry, what am I supposed to do here?
No, but that would have been cool. No, Michael is giving us responses each week.
Oh.
He is
Okay.
He is not the one that said, I'm sorry, what am I supposed to do? But that was a funny one. I like that. Eddie Ray says Mechanic by Will Mosley. And then Misty chimed in last week, and she said Hailstorm. She said Lizzie Hale for Best Female Singer. Oh, shoot. I just wiped it right off I washed it all away. Misty says Hailstorm, Chemicals. But she says they're acoustic performance. She's very specific with what she's listening to
I'll
these days.
say. Well, clearly it makes her feel something. That would be my guess. Because when you say the specific version, that one talked to you.
Nice. Rachel says Rainbow by Casey Musgraves.
Oh.
Andrew says
Taking
Free Fallin' by
notes.
Tom Petty.
Yeah, I'm free.
Sam says American Girl by Tom Petty.
You probably don't know this, but in the Gators Stadium, when they play football, obviously, well, I guess they could play other sports. When they play football, they play that Tom Petty song, and the entire stadium sings it. It's the coolest. I love it.
It's kind of like Sweet Caroline for the Boston Red Sox, huh?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
Dirty Water.
Oh.
Love that Dirty Water. Song about the Charles River in Boston. They sing that at the Red Sox games too.
Ah.
George says Cody Johnson, On My Way to You. Then he followed it up with saying very new, so maybe you could leave him alone now. I love it.
Did he say, so maybe she can leave me alone now?
No, he said very new.
You added that.
I added this so you could leave him alone. Tyler says Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
Chris says Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. Oh, here you go. Tina says Strawberry Wine by Dina Carter.
Oh.
Nice.
It always makes me think of Boone's Farms, which I think is kind of the point. But were you a Boone's Farms fan?
No, don't know what that is.
No. It was quote unquote wine, but it was basically a wine bottle that had one big wine cooler in it and not much alcohol to
I'm
it.
glad I don't know what it is then.
Yeah, it's like beginner.
It started to make me feel bad.
No,
Emma.
don't feel bad about that.
She says, man, I feel like a woman. Well, Emma, you're allowed to identify as a woman these days. Oh, wait, no, you mean by Shania Twain. Okay, I got it. Emma, man, I feel like a woman, Shania Twain. Logan, Fortress Sun by Creedence Clearwater Revival. Not used to saying that spelt out like that. It's usually CCR. Chloe, Better Man by Little Big Town.
Oh,
Mike, Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. I used to like that song a lot.
I like that
I used
song
to be a
also.
big fan of Bon Jovi, and then at some point it stopped. I don't know what it was. We talked about it once on the show before, the difference between like country artists writing songs and, you know, they go to artists and then those artists sing those songs and stuff. You know, that was the connection between the musician and the songs. And then rock artists, they wrote the songs, so they live with those songs and they perform those songs live. And I think once Bon Jovi kind of crossed the line and switched to writing with Nashville writers, to me, that's when I lost kind of like that, almost a respect for him. I liked it better when they were writing their own songs and doing their own thing. I mean, I used to think he was one of the best songwriters around. I don't think he needed to go to Nashville to write with pros.
Probably a record label said, hey.
Yeah. Guess what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Because he probably liked writing them himself as well.
Oh, yeah, I would hope so. Haley says, She's in Love with the Boy by Trisha Yearwood.
She's in love with the boy.
Kyle says, Don't Stop Believing by Journey. Journey was always my favorite band, so that's where we're going to stop. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle, for the end. All right. Well, we're going to talk about Miss Nikki Glaser. She hosted the Golden Globes. 2025 Golden Globes continues to generate chatter after her sharp, fearless performance. Did you see any clips from the Golden Globes?
Well, I saw some of her performance. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but probably my favorite was her two opening jokes. She comes out and says, welcome to the 82nd Golden Globes. Ozempic's biggest night. I was just like, that couldn't have just summed it up any better right there. It's like, we're being sponsored by Big Pharma, so let's just go ahead and say it right now, right out of the gate. I mean, she's fearless. She's known as a roast comedian.
Okay.
She is fearless. There could not have been a better opening joke than Ozempic's bigger night.
It's like a mic drop.
But then she followed it up with saying, if you're on CBS, hello. If you're on Paramount Plus, you've got 6 days left to cancel your subscription. So I was like, oh, there you go. So she gets pretty harsh. But no, I like her a lot.
We checked out a comedian, Shane Gillis, on Netflix over the weekend. This guy I don't even know how he gets on stage and like still faces people. He said he just crossed so many lines. And at first I was like, oh, I can't listen to this. And then I was like, let's give it a chance. It was a friend recommendation. So I'm like, okay, let me give it a chance. And then there were some parts that were pretty darn funny and had us laughing pretty hard. And then he would go to the next topic and it would just be cutthroat again. You're just like, oh my gosh. Like you just could not believe. So similar, although it sounds like she's ripping on like big companies.
Oh yeah,
which feels better.
No fear whatsoever.
Yeah, this guy was ripping on like ethnic populations.
It sounds like something she would do.
Oh, it would. Okay, yeah. There were some pretty sketchy things, and I was like, okay. So I made it through one presentation, and I think one will do it.
There you go.
Go back to Nate Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze or Bargatze.
Bargatze. However you say it.
Yeah.
Yes. So
apparently we've established we're not good at names.
It's okay. Okay.
Who's that other dude you keep messing with me with?
Kahan.
Noah Kahan.
Kahan.
And then you busted my cookies on Celine Dion, and you busted my cookies on Sarah. I got it.
I'm not busting your cookies on Sarah. I just genuinely like how it sounds.
My daughter. Sarabella.
Yeah, I can't say it, but I do love it. And I have a friend from Rhode Island, and some of the things she says too. I love any accent, but I like to try to
I'm no
imitate
longer
it.
special. A minute ago I was special. Now you're comparing me to your friend.
You're special because
and anybody
you're
else
the
that
only.
has an accent. Got it.
No, you're the only Bostonian, so I don't have any other Bostonians.
Fair
See,
enough.
you're still very special, Jay.
I'm special, all right.
Let me stroke your male ego. It's okay.
My wife did that to me today. She went to the doctor, and the doctor was talking to her, and she was talking about whatever, follow up or check up or this or that, asking her if she had a tube up her ass or whatever the hell the conversation was about. And then she said, "How about your husband? Or is he a typical man?" I'm like, "Well, thank you. You too. Even the damn doctor's picking on. I never met the damn doctor." Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, rant over.
What a crappy question.
My wife went along with
Was
it.
the
She was, no, he's a typical man. Yep. Hey.
Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Okay, moving right along. Mr. Bill Maher. Yes. Maher, that's what I said. Bill
Oh, yeah,
Maher.
that's right. That's what you
We've
said.
already established we're not good with names. Okay,
We're
Jay?
not good with names, but ones we hear every day we might want to be good with.
All right. So he accepts an invitation to the White House. He typically doesn't lean red. He doesn't bleed red.
He does
So
not
it was
bleed
nice. It was nice to see him.
I don't think he does
at the White
now
House.
either.
But I guess he actually had decent things to say about the president.
I don't know if you had a chance to see his own personal recap, but he did. He gave a personal recap. He came back and did a monologue about it, talking about going there and how he starts off, "Don't worry, I didn't go there and become a Trumper or anything like that." But he did say that the person you see in private is much different than the person you see in public when it comes to Trump. And he said that he was a man that was willing to listen, that he didn't just say it was his way or anything. He said when he talked to him, he was willing to listen. And not only that, he also said when he was poking fun at him, that Trump laughed with him. He didn't get upset over it or anything like that. Trump made a comment like, "Oh, you'll probably turn this into a joke," and they laughed. I think it was Bill Maher, had a list of all the things that he said about Trump at one point or another, and he had Trump sign it. So, and Trump signed it with no problem. I mean, he said it was a very good visit, a very good conversation, and the man was willing to listen, and he even asked Bill Maher what his opinions were on certain things and how he would address certain things. So, and he said he asked him legitimately wanting to know his answer. So, like, he wanted to see if there was a way he could apply that way of thinking. So I think whether you love Trump, hate Trump, whether you're left, whether you're right, it's good when people are willing to have a dialogue and talk.
I think we talked about bringing it up, but I don't think we actually brought it up, that they are allowing, if you have a podcast that is of political content on the normal, that you are allowed in the press room. And I just feel like he's one of the more transparent principals, presidents that we've had. He's running his school building very well.
Yes, I put in for our credentials. We haven't received them yet, but as soon as we do, I will let you know.
Because we do deliver some very hard-hitting news, and it would be beneficial for us to be in that press room.
Yes.
Mr. Jeff Dunham talking cancel culture's decline. And immediately when I saw that headline, I was like, oh, well, it's probably because Trump is in. And then sure enough, the follow-up is he told Fox News that Trump's re-election signals a blow to cancel culture, suggesting comedians can now joke more freely, which has ignited debates in comedian circles. Which I wonder if that is why Mr. Shane Gillis, although I think that his material was older than Trump's election. But
sure.
Yeah, I feel like people, doesn't that show his side though when Bill Maher,
Bill Maher,
when he goes in and he says that Trump signed the hits on him or whatever, you know, like everybody loosen up a little bit, you know, like we don't need to be so sensitive. And if it does bother you, look the other way, keep scrolling, move on, you know, like not everything has to be taken so seriously, or, you know, like take things a little bit more funny for what they really are, you know?
Well, as somebody who spent a little bit of time on stage, I can tell you that I wouldn't want to be limited, and that my sense of humor, while it might not be political, it still pushes on everybody, and I wouldn't want somebody to take offense to something I would say.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I go to a comedy show, even the comedians I listen to, you know, they're rough.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go easy on people. They're not telling your Jerry Steinfeld style jokes of,
right.
They're hitting hard. And that's what makes it funny. When you can hit the truth and hit it hard and laugh about it, that's what we need to do. We need to be laughing. That's why I think Nikki Glaser opening up with the Ozempic joke and things like that, it's funny. It's funny because it's true, and we should be able to laugh at it. You know, it is what
I know,
it
and
is.
I think sometimes like when comedians go after stereotypes, like they're funny because they're kind of true. I mean, where do they come from? Like there's some truth in them, sadly, but true. You know, it is what it is. And none of us get away with not having stereotypes about whatever, you know, ethnic race you're with.
Stereotypes myself.
Stereotypes, whatever your stereotypes are doing.
Oh, mercy me.
Okay, but that brings us to another story.
Tell me another story.
We could not do Saturday Night Live.
Going from stereotypes to monodick.
Okay.
Oh, we took another
Where
look.
did you
Sorry,
hear that?
George. Sorry. If you're still
Where
with
did you
us,
get
I'm sorry.
monodick?
I had mono when I was a kid. Never had monodick. I had mono.
Are we talking about stereotypes about monodick?
Stereotypes and
What?
monodick.
Last week you told us it was a long story.
It was a long story. Inch and a half worth at least.
It's not very long. That's why your wife said he's a typical man.
That's right. Oh, up until last
my
week, I thought
gosh.
an inch and a half was big. What do I know? Difference doesn't make. It's all the same feeling to me.
Nice. So you are a typical man. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about how, like, you know, be more easygoing, take the joke. It's not that big of a deal, right? But we did discover that there is an Australian comedian who has decided to cancel because she's worried about the potential backlash for jokes about President Trump, sparking discussion about comedy and free speech in current climate. Right. Because everyone's so sensitive.
Yeah, it's an Australian comedian. She's canceling her tour to the U.S. because she's afraid that some of the jokes won't go over, and she doesn't want to be part of it.
They probably would go over.
Yeah, they probably go over. I mean, they go over more here than they would in Australia.
I would think so too.
Australia has a very good sense of humor. I mean, that's where I went to school. So I went to school at the University of Queensland. And
I did not know that.
yes, I went to school.
You shut the front door.
Shut the front door. I went for my master's in business leadership at the University of Queensland in Brisbane, Australia. And they have a very, very good sense of humor. When it comes to things like that, they're very American-like. And I don't think there'd be an issue at all with this woman's sense of humor.
Well, also, don't you know the comedian before you buy the ticket?
Yeah, well, you'd hope so. I mean, and I'll tell you too, I mean, I've listened to a lot of the comedians like from London and some of the others from Europe that hit on us hard. I mean, because I mean, we, like it or not, we're kind of a laughing stock right now.
Yeah.
And people are laughing at us. But we have to be able to laugh with them. Otherwise, again, it is what it is.
I know. Sometimes it's like so bad, all you can do is laugh. Yeah. Move on. Get over it, people.
There you
Stop
go.
canceling your comedy tour. We need a laugh over here. Get your ass over here. We need a laugh.
She looks rough.
She looks scared. I'm not a fan of people who aren't confident.
No.
You should be confident and get over here and tell your jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jay and I will come after you.
No. Maybe.
Oh, no.
We,
No, we
we'll
won't.
hire somebody to do it. We can't do it ourselves. Look at us. What can we do?
I'll tell you what we couldn't do, Jay. I don't think I could go into space. I don't think I could get in the spaceship and do that little, well, not even get in the spaceship. I don't think I could pass the preliminary
You
test.
don't think you could hold the sunflower or dandelion?
No, and the minute they closed the little spaceship door, I would lose it. I have to know I can get out of whatever I'm doing. It's not so much the closed space, it's that I don't have an escape. I can be you can put me in a little teeny tiny tube like this big. I'm fine until I know I can't get out. Then we're not cool. That's my panic button. Couldn't do it.
I assume you're talking about the trip to space.
I am talking about this trip to space.
Well, do you know the people who were in it?
I only know Katy Perry. Oh, wait, I know one other person. I can't come up with their name right now.
Jeff Bezos'
I cannot tell you
wife
I'd
was
have to
one of
kill
them.
you. Oh, that's cool.
So, did you hear any of the footage from them talking?
No.
People were making fun of the things that they were saying. I was like, really? This is what we're going to do? These people are going into space. Well, they didn't go to real space. They only went to the edge of space. It's like they went up in a rocket. When was the last time you took a trip in a rocket?
They said they're going to do it again next year.
But they're complaining and bitching about it that, you know, they only went up to the edge of space. They were only in weightlessness for 3.5 minutes. It's like, okay, they didn't even enjoy the 3.5 minutes that they were up in space floating around. They didn't take that in. They didn't even look out the window. They were just talking. It's like, what do you expect them to do? I mean, if you listen to the audio of it as they're going, I mean, they were as excited as can be. They were all laughing and having a great time. If they weren't doing that, if they were just sitting there stone-faced looking out the window, you'd be like, what, they're not enjoying themselves?
Yeah.
You'd always have something to complain about. I mean,
Cheapers.
just like you just said, you didn't go in a rocket. I wouldn't do it.
There's still a lot of science behind it. They still could go blow up.
Oh, yeah,
they could still not return correctly.
I'm not doing it.
I mean, there's plenty of danger in it.
You could ask
It's
me
not
tomorrow.
an airplane
I'm not doing
flight.
it.
Yeah. You could pay for me to go do it. I don't want to do it.
No. Sorry.
No. There's no publicity. There's no social media post. There's no song. There's no nothing that could come from it that would be like, that's a great idea.
You know what, though? It'd probably be a good segment for us. Why don't you go ahead and do it? We'll film it. We'll air it on one of our upcoming episodes. George, can you make that happen for us, please? Make a phone call.
Well, let's decide this. Would it be fun to hear me crying, completely losing it and counting in for a 3-count breath and out for a 7-count breath?
Yes.
Would that be fun?
Yes, that would be fun.
So my sheer terror
George says he'll do his best.
would be... Thanks, George. He's always there for us, man.
George
just supporting us in all the ways.
I'm telling you, George has my vote for for associate producer or field producer or something. We got to give George a title and bring him on the show.
He got a pretty sweet shirt recently.
Yeah. He sent us a video.
Yeah.
Did he send you the video?
He did send me the video. It's
Sent me
looking
a video.
sharp.
Tiffany.
It's pretty good.
You can cry before the launch. Yep, she could. Cry before, during, and
cry
after.
During, yeah. Where it depends.
It all depends. I don't need depends. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be floating around. Whole new meaning to the word floater.
Weightless for 3 minutes. Folks, get ready to see Jay Franzi as the opening act to the next headlining comedian coming to your town soon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tiffany, you're fired.
I was telling people to look for you.
Sorry.
I don't think you're sorry. I don't think you're sorry.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Don't buy it. It's not worth anything.
Well, I have a new episode coming out. Memories with
you were gonna say
When and
something
Making
else.
Memories to a Beat. No.
Oh, tell me about this episode. What episode do you have coming out? Keep me from going left.
Well, my little friend Rachel and I, we went down to Villano Beach, which is just, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes south, and went to a rooftop bar, saw a group that she was familiar with called Vegas Gray, and it is an acoustic trio, although what makes something acoustic? They didn't have drums, but they had everything else, so I don't think they're very acoustic.
Acoustic instruments. Acoustic
okay.
guitar, acoustic bass,
Okay.
mandolin, lap
Okay.
steel. Things that
They
you
had
don't
those
plug
things. Got it. Okay, well, they had those things, and it is a dad, a daughter, and the daughter's boyfriend. And we were joking, hope the daughter and the boyfriend don't break up because then the band breaks
in.
up.
Band sucks.
Yeah. So they were all really good. We had a really good time. Fun little drinks hers came in a glass mug, glass jar, whatever, that was in the shape of a fish. It was super cute. And you could see the ocean and you could see the bridge that goes over to Anastasia Island. And it was just great ambiance. And so we broke that down and talked about that. And they played all the good oldies, but the ones that aren't overplayed. Like, you expect to hear all the ones on like the A list, but they were playing like the D list or whatever. So it was still songs you knew a whole bunch, but they just weren't over covered, if that makes sense.
Oh, yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. They were good.
I listened to the episode. It was very good.
Thank you. I'm questioning myself.
Oh,
That one did just get
that
released.
makes more sense.
So tomorrow is going to be actually.
So your story doesn't hold water is what you're trying to do.
No, it doesn't. No, it's got a lot of holes in it. Instead, you can look forward to an interview from Katrina.
So scratch
Sorry.
this one. No,
Actually, don't scratch it. Go
It's
listen
still
to it.
there. It's still there.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
one
yeah.
that's released now.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's going to be another one released tomorrow.
tomorrow.
All right, tell us about that one.
Hasta mañana. I think that's what it is. Hasta
See you
mañana.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Just mañana. Tomorrow. She actually runs a music school down here, and we got to talk about one of her favorite songs, and she was just an overall awesome person and great conversation, and I really didn't want to stop talking to her. You ever have those interviews where you're like, I don't know. Well, I guess we do. We have them all the time where we're on here for hour and a half, 2 hours. No, I'm saying it as a good thing. Like you just want to keep
Just
talking.
George that keeps me here.
Thanks. We talked about Amazing Grace. And it was good.
I also went back and listened to your Cersei episode as well, which was also very good.
What do you have up for episodes? Who'd you talk to lately?
I've got a couple. This week, Matt Drago. We talked about him briefly last week. Is an upcoming show, but his show released on Monday. Matt Drago is an actor. He was in a movie somewhere in Montana. It was a good conversation. It released this week. It's doing well. If you get a chance, check it out. He was a nice guy. And then this upcoming week, this week I had a chance to talk to Andy Gessner, and his episode will release on Monday. It's going to be a different style of an episode, so check it out. He is a music marketing professional. So we talked about how to market your music. You can take that and apply it to anything, but we were talking about music videos, which is what he specializes in. He specializes in promoting music videos, and he's worked with everybody, including Five Finger Death Punch. So
Oh, snap.
it was pretty cool to have him on and hear some of the stories he has about promoting music videos.
When you say music videos, did you guys talk about like pulling shorter clips for social media, or did you just talk about like CMT and
No, we talked about it all. Primarily, I mean, he deals in music videos where we're talking about getting him on MTV, CMT, and all the music channels, which was kind of interesting because he talked about a gatekeeper that those services use or those networks use. They use a gatekeeper that you have to finesse and send your stuff to that gatekeeper. So he's got the connection with the gatekeeper. So if you are the artist, you're sending him your music. He gets it to the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper then will get it onto the networks.
Interesting. I'm definitely catching that episode.
But he did also talk about the short form video because he also handles the social media for these people, or at least it's one of the services his company offers. He probably doesn't do it for everybody. But he talks about breaking down the music video and using that similar to the way we would take a show and break it down for multiple purposes. He does that with the videos. So they'll create lyric videos to go out there. They'll also create like a 30-second clip that'll go. But he's very strategic on how he chooses which clip of that video he'll choose for social media. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
And George just chimed in and said he has had a chance to see both of them, and they are worth checking out. See that?
Awesome.
All right, folks, well, we've done it. We have reached the top of the hour. We've actually blown past that top of the hour. We're now down at the bottom of the hour, which is, of course, the end of the show. If you've enjoyed the show, please tell a friend. Miss Tiffany, if you have not.
Tell two.
Fantastic. You can also reach out to both of us over at jfrenzy.com. We will keep this conversation going. We will keep other conversations going. We'll even shut up and just let you talk for a little while, whatever works best for you. You can also check us out on the socials. Anything we can do to connect with you, we would love to do it. Miss Tiffany, do you have any final words for us?
Yes, sir. A little inspiration can go a long way. Find the music that moves you and share it. That's the best part. I think that's the most fun, is when you share it.
Share it. All right, folks. On that note, have a good night.
Thanks for listening to The Jay Franzi Show. Make sure you visit us at jfranzi.com. Follow, connect, and say hello. This episode has been brought to you by VR Knives, your source for 100% custom knives made by a true rock star. So, if you're in the market for a new piece of art, reach out to VR Knives. 407-421-5528. 407-421-5528.